Hello viewers, this is Revealing Light Tarot. I wanted to read today, initially I wanted to read today. There is a lot of conjecture in the media and also other readers too about who the author is of the op-ed. A lot of coverage is pointing to the fact that it may be Mike Pence and his Chief of Staff, Nick Ayres, who would have authored the op-ed on behalf of Pence. Pence, of course, is denying it. I thought about reading on that, but I thought, no, I actually want to... People are worried about Donald Trump's mental state, and I wanted to send a message to those that may be in peril due to Hurricane Florence striking the East Coast. I wanted to send a message of support to them as we in Australia receive support from the world when disasters hit us, whether that be bushfires or floods. I wanted to send that similar support to those that may be in jeopardy as a result of the hurricane. And as I was thinking about that, and I thought about how much is resting on the President's handling of not only the hurricane but other matters that are so critical to citizens, I thought, no, let's look at is he competent? Is Trump actually competent, or is he incompetent as we're led to believe? And if he is incompetent, what sort of checks and balances are being held upon him? It must be a very great source of worry to think that someone who's leading the country with so much responsibility, if the media and Woodward's book, the op-ed, if all of these things are true, then it must be a great source of worry. And really, the sooner that Donald Trump goes, the better for everybody. So let's have a look, considering all those things that I've just touched on. Is Donald Trump competent? And if he's not, who is holding him in check? Straight away as I'm shuffling, I got the image of Donald Trump, with his two fists, doing that Rocky movement that he did as he got off his plane. To address some kind of ceremony in relation to the 9/11 anniversary. And straight away I got that impression that, unfortunately for Donald Trump, it is all about himself. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. It doesn't matter what the event or the crisis event is. I mean, we saw him throwing paper towels into the crowd in Puerto Rico when the hurricane hit there. All these things are extremely inappropriate and are the actions of a child and a very self-centered, immature person. So, is Donald Trump competent? And if he's not, then who is holding him in check? He is surrounded by a lot of advisors. A lot of people are having internal conversations all the time about trying to keep him in check. And it's not just the author of the op-ed. This is a lot of people in the West Wing. Yeah, the responsibility is on Congress and the Senate to have removed Donald Trump now. There's enough there about his fitness for office. And, you know, if you've got the West Wing trying to hold him in check, then, you know, that says that he's not competent. But anyway, let's see what the cards... I'm just operating on the visions that I'm getting from the universe, universal source. But let's see what the cards have to say. Is Donald Trump competent? Just quickly, the card on the bottom of the deck, which can often be significant, is the Two of Pentacles, and this is about weighing up choices and multitasking and multiple options, and that to me indicates that what I said earlier about those in the West Wing, they are running around, they are, you know, sometimes in a very pressurised environment, trying to work out what options they have to hold to hold the president in check. Okay, so we've got the the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is about money. You know, there's no other way to talk about it. It's about money, and that is the almost like the signifier card for this reading. The whole entire presidency has been based on money. The obstacles that are in the way, I've drawn the Three of Cups, and that is about circles of support and joining together. And to me, that is signifying that there are checks and balances that are operating within the system to hold President Trump in check. But almost they are an obstacle in itself, because if those checks have to be made, then really the president should be removed. Okay. So we have the page of Pentacles, and this is about patience, and it is about I guess new jobs and news. I do associate this strongly with news. So that's interesting, because that's almost pointing to the op-ed, because it's in the past position. So to me, what the reading so far is saying is that op-ed was actually true, that there are people holding Donald Trump in check. The Page of Rods, which is, of course, Wands, is a new project, an active project, and active ideas, and that's in the future position. While ever, to me, that's saying that while ever Donald Trump is the president, that there will be these checks and balances on him. It's interesting, we're drawing a lot of page cards and court cards, and that to me is saying that the opposition in the West Wing actually might be quite young. They're not the older people within the Republican Party. They're actually the younger people, a younger generation, who can perhaps be a little bit more divorced from this whole money web that is ensnaring the older members of the Republican Party. And it may be that it is from the younger Republicans that new change and new purpose. You know, someone will have to rebuild the Republican Party, and it won't be left to the older people. It will be left to the younger generation to do that, really paying for the sins of the older generation. So let's just deepen the reading. Again, we've got the Two of Wands, and this is all about I guess, you know, the suit of Wands is about inspiration and creativity and motivation as well. This card is suggesting that we're waiting for results. We're making choices and we're waiting for results, and it's deepening the past position, which is the news, which represented to me the op-ed. So whoever is behind the op-ed, is actually waiting for, I guess, to me, how, what will be the falling out of the op-ed. How is it going to go? And based on that, I guess how much damage it might do to the Trump presidency. Very much waiting, standing back now and waiting for results. Now, just having a look at the Ace of Pentacles, this moneyed system, this moneyed web that is informing the Trump presidency. We get the Tower, and really that's as much as the money brought Donald Trump to power, it's going to remove him from power as well. In the future, the Six of Swords very much moving on, a necessary transition, and a moving on. We will be moving on from the Trump presidency, and we'll be moving on with the help of a younger generation that is moving us forward, and I think that's both in the Democrat and the Republican Party. There has to be, this is a necessary transition. It has to happen. This whole moneyed web that has been at the heart of politics, is coming to an end. So the Hanged Man in the past position, in terms of the op-ed, this is just deepening the waiting for results. This is like the author of the op-ed or the movement behind the op-ed. They're very much in a suspended state. They're not able to move forward. My assumption, I guess, would be that it's very volatile environment for them at the moment, and they're not able to move forward. So they're very much waiting to see what the outcomes are of their op-ed, their bold movement, before they take any further action. The Five of Cups in the present position, which is Donald Trump's presidency, and his whether he's competent or whether he's not. The Five of Cups is telling us about that the president is actually feeling quite isolated at the moment. This is a strong feeling I had coming into the reading. He doesn't know who he can trust. Unfortunately, I have to say that what the cards are telling me, that the money is informing this presidency. There's not higher ideals there. It was all about and is all about the money. Because of that, it's very undoing, and so we've got chaos reigning now, and very much loss here. Loss and isolation for the president and his supporters. So in the future, we've got a new generation coming through, a necessary change and transition. There is going to be some quite significant fallout that will happen from the necessary transition. In the transition, in order to get to a new beginning, you have to actually examine the lessons, and there are going to be many, many lessons for those involved with the Trump presidency and supporting the president, and supporting and enabling someone who isn't competent to do the job. There's going to be quite significant heartache for all, for those that supported the Trump presidency. I just want to clarify the obstacles in this sense. Which was the Three of Cups, and that those in the West Wing who are trying to protect people from Donald Trump's presidency, and almost unfitness for office. While that is actually a strength in another way, as I said, it's actually a weakness, because in supporting and trying to stop his worst impulses, they're not actually coming forward At the moment, there is a state of suspension. They're not coming forward. They're waiting. And all the while that they're doing that, they're actually enabling this incompetence, this moneyed web, this chaos. So I just want to, are they going to come forward at any stage? Rather than working behind the scenes, are they going to come forward at any stage? Unfortunately, it's all about politics, and it's not going to happen before the it's not going to happen before the midterms. The Four of Swords is they might actually be thinking that they're doing their patriotic duty, but in not coming forward, they're just enabling a president who's not fit for office. This president actually needs to be taken away and needs to be taken out of office. He is not well. He is not competent. He's been described as unhinged. I don't want to be too negative in this description, but let's just say he should either resign or be impeached, and this would be the best possible thing we can do for Donald Trump, because he's actually not well. Okay, so what else do we actually need to know? I guess I can ask whether or not Mike Pence or someone he's associated with have authored the op-ed. I'll just clarify the news card. We won't ask that, because I did get quite strongly that it wasn't in the best interest to name that person who authored the op-ed, that they were indeed waiting. But while they might be doing the world some good by stopping the impulsiveness of and immaturity of the president, if they just came out and outed his behaviour, then both houses would then have to be forced, would be forced to move. But unfortunately, because they're waiting, this is actually an obstacle to moving to that necessary transition. And because they're waiting, it seems to me that the situation for them and for the current presidency is it will actually be even worse. So let's just see, are they going to come forward anytime soon? Okay, so what I'm getting is that there are lots of meetings, clandestine meetings, lots of options being weighed up. Again, this would point to these cards that are talking about waiting for results, waiting, for more things to emerge before they act, and considering their options. So a little bit of a stalemate at the moment. Are they going to come forward anytime soon? Yeah, no, they're not coming forward anytime soon. This is the Seven of Swords. This is about betrayal and dishonesty, secrets, carrying secrets, and so clarifying those news. That page of Pentacles. It would seem to me that this is going to remain a secret for the time being. My guess is that that's because politically it would be unwise for them to do anything further. It has been suggested that the person that wrote the op-ed is actually staying within the West Wing in order to do their work and protect the nation. But what this is saying is actually it's enabling the president to stay in office when really he should be taken out. So just summarising that reading, in the future, without dwelling on, we've got a lot of swords and a lot of negative cards coming through here in the past, the immediate past, and the present. But in terms of what's going to happen in the future, we've got the younger generation coming through with new ideas. That they're going to be responsible for moving this presidency on, and it may be that you're going to get a significant younger vote coming through in the midterm elections, both from from the Democrats, but there's also a fairly strong will and inspiration within younger members of the Republican Party to reform the party as well. It's a necessary transition that had to happen, and in the wash-up, there's going to be a lot of betrayal, there's going to be a lot of heartache, so it's going to be pretty rough, I think, going forward. But the thing that we've got to remember is that new ideas, new change, new transformation, driven by fresh energy, not this old moneyed energy from the past that has informed politics. New ways are coming through. So I think, while it might be quite stressful and distressing at the moment, we need to remember that in the future things are going to be different. Thank you, viewers.